So today is September the 25th, and we are going to be working on GCF and LCM. Yesterday, Miss Sawyer kind of taught some of the groups, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a different way. Today, I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit, and then at the end of this lesson, y'all can kind of figure out which way you want to do it, okay? So, greatest common factor. There we go. Okay, so GCF means greatest common factor. Greatest common factor. The only reason I am writing this out is for the word greatest. I need you to realize that we're going to look for the greatest number or factor or multiplication table that they have in common. Not the least, the greatest. Sometimes my kids will choose the least because of LCM. You want greatest common factor. Okay. Now, we use GCF, or greatest common factor, for simplifying, if you're kind of wondering why we do this. When we simplify, we should use the GCF. Okay, so that's just a hint of why we do it. Okay, now, okay, so greatest common factor. Let's say you have the numbers, I'm going to do 36 and 24. Okay, so to find the GCF, I use multiplication tables, and I have a very, what I call, organized way of doing this. I do it in order because then I hopefully don't skip any numbers. Okay, so watch. I start with 1. You always want to list 1 times that number. I know it sounds hokey, but it might be your answer. You never know. So I start out, what equals 36? 1 times 36. Then I try 2. If 2 works, which it does, 2 times 18. 18 is going to be that. Now you may have to jot it on the corner of your paper. Does 3 work? Yep, 3 times what? 12. 3 times 12. Okay, notice I'm staying in order. Does 4 work?
Yes.
4 times what? 9. Notice I'm staying in order. Does 5 work?
No.
6? Yes, 6 times 6. Now look, I want you to notice something. There's a little pattern going on here. My next number would be 7, correct? But I want you to notice, if 7 were to be used, it would already be listed. Because multiplication tables just flop over. So 7 would be over here, 8 would be over here. Here's my 9. You're going to be looking at both sides of numbers. Those are all the factors in 36. Does that help a little bit? Okay, let's do 24. 1 times 24. 2 times 12. 3 times 8. 4 times 6. So I try 5. Does it work? 6. Yes, but look, I've already got it listed. Once you're kind of on that side, if you go in order, you have them all listed, which is nice. You don't have to write them twice. You just got to look at both sides of the list. Okay? Now, go back. You're looking for greatest. Start with like 24 and 36. Which one do they have in common that is the greatest? Greatest. 12. GCF is 12. You want to find the greatest one they have in common. That's why you want to start on these on the far side, I guess. Look at the big numbers and keep matching until you find the greatest. They do have 2 in common. They have 3 in common. They have 4 in common. They have 6. Yeah, that's it actually. I was thinking 8, but they don't. So that is how you find the greatest common factor. That's just what it equals. Like 1 times 24 equals 24. 2 times 12 equals 24. 3 times 8 equals 24. And then I figured out 4 times 6. Then my brain is testing 5. Like 5 doesn't work. So once I reach 6, like if that number is already listed, you've already got it. Like 6 times 4, 8 times 3, 12 times 2. They're just flip-flopped. It's just all the numbers that equal that number. Okay? The key is you don't want to leave any out. Like you don't want to leave out 3 times 8 because it might be your answer. One of your answers. Okay? So let's try another one. Let's say we do GCF of, let's do 9, 18, and 27. So you can have 3 numbers. So list everything that equals those numbers and try to list them in order. Do y'all see the lists I've got going on here? GCF. 9. Listen, the fast, like, I hate to be weird, but like just the multiplication tables. The better off, the quicker you know them, the better off you are. I'm kind of checking, like I looked for 27, looked for 18, looked for 9. You know, 9 ends up being the biggest one. Does that help a little bit? Like, I personally do GCF, just listing the multiplication tables. Do y'all see my trick where I'm kind of testing them? Like, if I'm going down, I do 1, I do 3, I test 4, I test 5, it doesn't work. I test 6, it doesn't work. I test 7, it doesn't work. I test 8, it doesn't work. And so once I reach 9, which is already up here, my brain can kind of stop right there. I don't have to test 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, because they would all be right here if it was going to be a factor. Yes?
When I was in 5th grade, my math teacher said, a way to know when you're done listing factors in GCF is they're repeating themselves.
Yeah, when they repeat, exactly. And they're almost repeating backwards. Like when you start getting 3 and you're doing 9 and then you get 9 and you get 3, yes. It's a great way. I'm hoping y'all see that the organization of it kind of helps. Like if you'll keep them in order. Okay, let's do one more GCF or 2 more. Okay, if you get this one very quickly, don't give away the answer. Give everybody a second. Let's do 3 and 9. And 18 and 24. So, just try those two, 3 and 9. There's a reason behind the first one. I just kind of want to show you something. what did you figure out about 3 and 9? What is it? 3. Can a GCF, so like, you got this, you got this. Okay, I kind of messed that one up because I meant for it to be something else. GCF is 3. Okay, so it can be the number that's given to you, is what I'm getting at. What if, hint, hint, what if I gave you a number like this? What if I gave you the number 3 and the number 7? And I wanted you to make lists. The only thing that equals 3 is what? 1 times 3. What's the only thing that equals 7? 1 times 7. What is the GCF? 1. Listen, you can have a GCF of 1. Like, I'm just trying to give you a hint here. You can have a GCF. It's just the only factor that goes into it. This one I was trying to give you a hint on that the greatest common factor can be one of the numbers. In case you just didn't see that. Does that help a little bit? Okay. What did you get on this one? 6. Okay, so I'm going to list them out. I got 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 4, 5, 6, and then I check this one, 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and then I'm checking 18, 9, 6. Yes, GCF is 6. Okay, so GCF, greatest common factor. The biggest one they have in common. Is that okay? Everybody's good on the GCF part? Yes? Okay. Now, let's do least common multiple. Least common multiple to me is even easier. I'm trying least common multiple. LCM. Okay. You will use LCM when finding common denominators. Okay. So when we're trying to add and subtract fractions, we're trying to find those common denominators. That is what this is for. That's what this is used for. I want you to think about least, lowest common number. The littlest one, smallest, whatever you want to call it. That's why I write this out every time. Like one time, I always write it out. You can't choose the biggest one. You'll be there all day. Okay? So, if we're doing LCM, let's say they want you to do the numbers, I don't know, let's say 5 and 20. I'm kind of goofy. I do write it this way, and I go across the paper. I don't know why. That's just the way I do it. Think of it as skip counting. Skip count by those numbers until the lowest one matches up. So, we've skip counted by 5 since 2nd grade. 5, 10, 15, 20. Whoops, look at that. It's already happened. Your least common multiple is 20. That is your LCM, your least common multiple. That was probably a little too fast, but that's okay. Least common multiples. You're thinking about skip count. Okay? Let's say you have the numbers, I don't know, 8 and 5. So skip count by 8 and 5 until they match up. And you get 40. Listen, if I'm not real sure, what I usually do is I will go out like a few, like 4 or 5, and then I'll do 4 or 5 the other one. Just checking it. Listen, if you are finger counting, I need you to all listen for a second, and parents might be laughing at me at home, but if you are having to do this, okay, like you're doing 5, like let's say you're doing 5, and you go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's not bad unless you tell me it's 16. Because then your next one's going to be 21. And then your next one's going to be 26. And it is never going to match up. So, I want to give you a hint. If you get way out, you get like 10 or 15 spots way out here, check your math if you're off, okay? Especially if you're doing any fingering type stuff, finger counting, okay? Let's say you do one more. Let's say you have 6, 12, and 15. 6, 12, and 15. And I wouldn't listen to my neighbors. I wish I had like a big red buzzer. Bah. Some of you said 60. It's not 60. Because we want the least common multiple. And there. Oh, I'm sorry. Bah. Check, you're right. I was thinking it was what? 30, because I was not looking at this. Sorry, I always apologize if I make a mistake. It's back there. Yeah, go ahead. Listen, I'm sorry. It is. I was looking at just 6 and 15. So my brain was doing this, and I'm thinking I'm on the right track, and I'm like, why are y'all saying 60? Because I'm thinking this, and my brain is going, oh, look how easy that is. But I wasn't factoring in the 12, and if I really slow down, that is awesome that y'all got that answer so fast, especially since I missed it. 48. Ah, look. So I'm looking. I'm thinking 30, and it's not right. 36, 42, 48, 50. Wait a minute. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. And then 6 times 10 is 60. I'm trying to make them all work out here. 45 and 60. Woo! This is what I get for waiting until 4th period in my brain. So my LCM equals 60. Okay? Listen, make sure you either circle it or you list it or something. Okay, now, I want you to just kind of stop for a second and listen. You've now learned 2 different methods to do this. Yesterday, some of you learned Miss Sawyer's method with the factor tree. And then today, some of you've learned, like, this might have been easier or the other might have been easier. It is up to you which way you use it, whichever way you do it. I just need to see work. So, guys back there that are playing with your fingers, listen. This is how you show work. If you're doing GCF, like this is how you show work. Then, and then circle your answers or whatever. Now, I need you to listen because so many kids are going to probably end up doing extra work and they don't need to. And I don't think most of you want to. Okay. My class is doing in the book. Okay. I'm trying to fold it and make it look pretty. Okay. We are doing, and I need you to listen. We're doing 1 through 9 and 13 through 21. And that is it. Oh, we can do the whole page because that was the original plan. Okay. So, this is page 12. Okay. And I'm going to even help you and get you started on it right now. It is page 12. If you do not have a textbook under your desk, I will bring you one or a copy of the page in just a second. Okay? So, you can either have a copy or a textbook. Yes. And I would do it on a clean sheet of paper. homework tomorrow. I didn't know what the confusion was from yesterday. So tomorrow, hint, hint, I will be checking homework. If I have to collect it, check it, right? Okay, so I'm going to start you out. Right now, I'm going to start you with 1 through 3, and then probably 13, 14, and 15. What I want you to do right now is, as you start this, I want you to make a decision on if you're going to use my way or Miss Sawyer's way. Then, listen, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. But listen, I want you to make sure that you're doing, that it is correct, okay? So as you do 1, 2, and 3, then in a few minutes, I'm going to show the answers. And I want you to compare and make sure they're right. No, listen. Just start with 1, 2, and 3. But you're listing multiplication tables. It might take some paper. You don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to pause this for just a second while they're working on 1, 2, and 3. So, they have been working on 1, 2, and 3. What I'm going to do is show the answers for 1, 2, and 3 so they can kind of check and see if they're getting them correct. There is greatest common factor 1, 2, and 3. So, greatest common factor and that one. Any questions on those? Are we good on those? Just listing multiplication tables. So number 1 I got 2, number 2 I got 5, and number 3 I got 3. Any questions on how I got it, what I got it, why I got it? Okay, now I'm going to have to dig. If you want to write down the LCM in one class, I think I did a few of them, but I probably won't be able to find them because I'm recording and I have no clue where it's at. So keep. Maybe it's on this one. No. Yeah, keep going. Like you keep going. What I'm going to do is just do the other ones. If least common multiple. So, if you were doing like, I'm just going to kind of skip down. And real quick, if you are dying to see, like, if you want to check your work, if you were doing number 13, if I skip counted by 5s and 6s, I would end up with 30. Yes. And 30 would be it. If I were doing 14, 3 and 5, it would be what? 15, yes. So, there is 13 and 14, just in case you want to kind of check your work. Okay, so your assignment tonight is page 12, right out of that red textbook that we barely touched. 1 through 9 is GCF, 13 through 21 is LCM, and here it is one last time if you need it, a picture out of the book. That is the actual picture out of the book. Tomorrow, I'm checking it. 18 problems. I think I gave you half of them. Good luck.